mud puddle here, but we are not going to cross the mustard. Oh my goodness. Hey everyone, welcome back to Topher Drives, where today you join me in the California canyons with the newly facelifted 2026 Jeep Grand Cherokee Summit. Now this is still the WL, the generation that we've known for the last 5 or 6 model years. But there's been one main change in this, and it's one that you actually can't see from the outside. They've given it a bit of a facelift, you know, the bumpers and the headlights and stuff. But the biggest change with this 2026 model is the heart of the upper trims like this Summit model. Now Jeep will still sell you the naturally aspirated Pentastar V6 in the base model that starts at 40 grand. But ones like this one as tested today is in the mid 60s. The Summit starts at 62,000. Under the hood of this, we have the new 2-liter turbocharged Hurricane 4-cylinder. Now the name Hurricane should sound familiar because we've seen the Hurricane Inline 6 in the new Charger 6-pack and the Ram truck. But in this, the Hurricane name is a 4-cylinder. So this makes 324 horsepower and 332 pound-feet of torque. It's got an 8-speed ZF automatic, very similar to the one that you get with the V6. And this Summit is 4-wheel drive. Jeep will also sell you a 2-wheel drive Grand Cherokee, but that's only on the lower trims. The Summit comes standard with the 4-wheel drive. And since this is a Summit, it means we have air suspension. We have the 19-speaker Macintosh sound system. And while today's video is going to be kind of a canyon blast, which is hilarious, we're just going to give you some first driving impressions on this. It'll be more of a review of this 2-liter Hurricane Inline 4, because that's the big news with this. And otherwise, they haven't changed this a lot, which I think is okay, because this still looks the part. I think it looks fantastic, one of the best in the segment. And also, I don't know that it really needed any updates, because this still looks like a 2026 model. So let's quickly poke around this, and then we're going to go rip some canyons in this Jeep Grand Cherokee, which is kind of funny, but I think it'll be a good time. So in the back, you can see tons of room. This is not the Grand Cherokee L that gives you the third row seating. This is just the regular Grand Cherokee, which means underneath the trunk floor, we have a massive full-size spare tire made by Nexen. Look at that. And then otherwise, you know, this is a Grand Cherokee, so there's plenty of room in the back for stuff. Power liftgate, obviously. Take a look here in the back. This one has a very nice peanut butter interior, and we'll put the full spec of this thing in the description for you guys so you can see what all options this has. This is not a car that I've been living with this week. In fact, I've only driven it about a half a mile down the street from our little lunch stop, where I've been driving the new Cherokee all day, the new hybrid thing, which that video goes up, I think, before this. If so, I'll have it linked in the description for you if you want to check that out too. But, you know, this is what we know with the Grand Cherokee. It's kind of that upper middle class SUV, and this is kind of the direction that Jeep is going with everything. We have nice, genuine leather seats in this Summit trim, a fully independent climate control panel with vents back here, and you sit pretty high up, and that's the same for the back and the front. We've got lots of nice trimmings in here. We've got wood. You guys know that I love wood in cars. Honestly, Jeep kind of does this the best right now, especially in their segment. I don't know many other companies that will sell you wood, and I think they do it tastefully. You know, it's not overboard, but they have got wood on just about every surface in here, which I like to see. Sat behind myself here, I've got enough room. This is in its comfort access position right now because I've got a memory seat saved up there. I've got a nice Alcantara black headliner in this Summit trim. Anyway, though, let's show you the Hurricane. So this is a pretty trick engine. It's new, and it's going to be built at the Dundee engine plant, which is not too far from me in Michigan, but quite a ways from where we are right now in California. But anyway, it's a pretty trick engine because of the way that the fuel delivery happens. Now, and I'm going to try to explain this as best as possible, but I'm not an engineer. I went to business school. A normal fuel injector puts fuel directly into the combustion chamber, but this has like a pre-explosion, which was developed on the Maserati Nettuno V6, which is what you see in the MC20. So similar technology here in the Hurricane 4, where the engine is able to explode its vapors faster than normal, if that makes sense. And Google that, please, if you want to learn more about it. But that's the way that I understand it. Again, 324 horsepower, 332 pound-feet of torque. ZF 8-speed, really nice feeling things in this car. The hood's got a nice shut to it. The doors feel pretty nice. Nice door closing sounds as well. Okay, let's start this thing up and go drive on the canyons. Start stop button is actually in the middle. I don't know that it's always been like that. If it has, I don't recall. It's been a few years actually since I've driven the WL Grand Cherokee. And I remember liking it. Let's see, let's get this phone paired. But up front, things seem to be pretty similar. We have our climate control panel below the infotainment screen, which is 12.3 inches. We have a passenger screen. We have a camera rear view mirror. Nice center console here. Obviously acts as an armrest, but also it is double layered. We've got cup holders that hide away. We've got a wireless charger that hides away. And like I told you, lots of wood, lots of stitching, and they obviously go all out with this Summit trim because it is the top. They simplified the trims a bit for 2026, so there's no longer a Summit Reserve. It is just the Summit, and that is what we are in today. You've got quick access buttons up here, traction control off, auto stop start off, lane keep assist off, all of that stuff exists. You can turn the passenger screen on and off up here as well, and then we have this full pano roof up on top. So lots of good stuff here, and again, we'll live with one of these at home and we'll give you some more in-depth impressions, but I really just want to test out this Hurricane, so let's do that. Nice cameras. You can see if I keep going, I will fall off of a cliff, literally. So let's go back into drive here. Most notable thing, apart from the engine, is the high seating position that you get in these Jeeps. Give you some mud ASMR there. All right, let's pull this up here. Can't say I've ever driven a Grand Cherokee on a canyon road, so we're going to take this easy to start to feel this thing out. Number of drive modes: rock, sand, mud, snow, auto, and sport. I am just going to put this right into sport. That'll tighten up our air suspension. It'll add some weight to the steering, and also we're going to use these paddle shifters. Let's see, air suspension is lowering. Not really a whole lot of drama here with this four-cylinder. It kind of reminds me of the way that the Ford Maverick Lobo sounds. It's like a very deep, sort of grunty sound, and it makes sense, right? Because the Grand Cherokee has always had either a V6 or an inline 6 or a V8. You know, they're bigger engines normally in this car. So they're trying to sort of simulate that here with the Hurricane, I assume. Does sound a little bit tinny on the down rev. Honestly though, pretty decently athletic on a road like this. The air suspension does a really nice job compensating for all of these changes in the road surface, the little blips here and there. Steering actually has pretty good weight to it. Like I said, I spent all morning in the new Cherokee, which has ultralight steering. But there's some weight here in this Grand Cherokee. It feels actually quite a bit smaller than you would expect here on this road. I want to rev this all the way out to 6,000 or whatever it'll go to. Let's see. And it will hold gears. Check that out. Paddle shifters are about a half a second delayed, so you got to plan those gear changes accordingly. you do get the very subtle sort of between shifts, which is very characteristic of this ZF 8HP, which has been retuned, of course, slightly. Different gear ratios and things for the Hurricane versus the Pentastar. I did this road a few days ago in the Integra that I'm driving this week, and that felt very small on this road. Oh, big puddle. This doesn't feel small, but like I said, it doesn't feel obnoxiously large. Like, I don't feel like I'm in a full-sized Range Rover right now or something. But we're taking it easy, you know. I'm going to put this back into automatic, back into drive. Just hold that up paddle and it will do it. Big puddle here, but we are not going to cross the mustard. Oh my goodness. It's so funny when it rains in California because it's proper rain. It doesn't just drizzle, it downpours. Come into this. Pretty nice feel through the brake pedal as well. I mean, no real complaints with the way that this is handling this road right now. I'd be confident to take this on pretty much anything. Kudos to this air suspension, seriously. I mean, this will go all the way up to 10.9 inches of ground clearance and all the way down to 7 in entry-exit. But it's handling this well. Obviously, you've got body roll and things, but it's usable body roll. It's not sketchy. This is so funny. This is a lovely road. And of course today, I've got it all to myself. When I was in the Integra, I kept running into traffic. Jeep Grand Cherokee, nobody in sight. It's the way it goes. Visibility out of this is lovely. With this high seating position, obviously you can see the front of that hood. And ergonomics in here are good too. I love the steering wheel. I remember when this WL generation came out, I thought this was the closest a Jeep has ever felt to a Range Rover, and it's Range Rover in the good ways. Some of the materials in here, kind of the hardness to everything. It's a very hard feel when you touch stuff. I mean, you have squishy console elbow rests and things, but most of what you touch in here is pretty hard. And that's not saying in a bad way. Nothing creaks, nothing rattles. I think strictly from a functional standpoint, this Hurricane 4-cylinder does a fine job. Where I struggle is how's it going to hold up carrying around this massive SUV whilst being so powerful and stressed and things. I mean, they only rev it to 6,000 RPM, which is good. I think any higher would be a little bit too risky. But I guess we'll see. We'll see what reliability is like here. A little bit of a delay there off the line. A little bit of turbo lag. For the most part, though, I mean, it's a pretty quiet engine. I mean, even when you're on it versus when you're not, when it's existing in the background, it doesn't really make a racket, and it's just kind of just normal truck 4-cylinder sounds here. There's not really a whole lot of character with this engine. Not to say that the powertrain in a Grand Cherokee should have a ton of character, but I would sometimes have fun revving out that Pentastar, you know. And also the older V8 Grand Cherokees that we haven't had for a bit now at this point, but those were always fun. I think power level here is fine. It's pretty quick. I just don't get any sort of excitement really from this powertrain. And I don't really think that that's the point of this car. I think for what they've actually been going for, this does make sense because it's quiet and it has torque. And I do like that you can hear the shifts when you're in higher RPMs here. We'll get this off the line up here as well. This is a little bit downhill, but whatever, it'll do the trick. Let's turn traction off and we'll brake torque it. There you go. 0 to 60. We're at a little bit of elevation right now, but it's also downhill, so I guess maybe that would have canceled out. This is a little bit more extreme downhill now. It wasn't this much. But since we have the paddle shifters, we can engine brake for downhill sections. Make sure our brakes are staying cool. Now, even though this is now a 4-cylinder, it will still tow 6,500 pounds, so you can tow a trailer with a Miata or whatever you'd like. Actually, probably quite a bit more than that. It's a trailer, 2,000 pounds. A Miata is like another 2,500. That's only 4,500 pounds. You could do a car trailer with a Challenger Hellcat would probably be about max for this thing, but it would do it. You can take your Challenger to the track with your Stellantis tow rig. But I think more so campers is like what they have in mind for this. Geez, we just have all the open road today. Let's rev this out one more time. This air suspension does a fantastic job. I actually want to try this in auto. Take this back out of sport mode and just put it in auto. I want to see what this ride quality does. Okay, I am foot to the floor and it is not downshifting, probably because I'm in manual mode. That's not the car's fault. Okay, here we go. Brakes feel nice as well. I mean, there's not really any input in this car that's sketchy. Everything feels pretty cohesive and comprehensive overall with the entire package. I mean, Jeep, this is really what they do best. This car is pretty iconic. My mom's had a couple of these actually. When I was growing up, my mom had, oh geez, I'm so bad with Jeep body codes, but it was like a 2003-ish. That's kind of like the years that these were, but they were always great cars, and this is right where we started, right here. Check this out. We've made an entire loop. All right, guys. Well, I just wanted to give you a quick little blast around the canyons with this new Hurricane 4-cylinder. Again, like I've said a million times, we'll have one of these back home and we'll kind of see what it's like to live with, but I've got limited time today and there are other journalists waiting to get into this car. So just a quick blast. But overall first impressions, this engine is just about exactly what I expected. Not a whole lot of character, pretty grunty, and gobs of torque, which is the most important thing for an SUV this size. It just has to be able to get done what it needs to get done. Still has to be able to tow. And this will do over 500 miles on a tank of fuel as well. So that's fun. But let's give you one last look at this. We'll turn it off. Let me know if you guys have any questions. I know this isn't like our normal video that we do, but with the limited time, this is just about all we can do today. So let me know if you have any questions. You probably have more today than you normally would, but that'll just about wrap it up. Thank you guys all so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care. And if you've stayed till the end of the video, it's time for the 19-speaker Macintosh sound system test. Let's see how this does. Gonna sound really funny, but I love the way this volume knob feels. It's a metal knob, and I like adjusting the volume because of it. But anyway, as far as the performance of the sound system goes, this is a pretty good system. We've known this Macintosh system. This is not new for 2026, and we've also seen this in the Grand Wagoneer. Super powerful. We've got a lot going on. It's 19 speakers, so sometimes it can sound a little bit too simulated, but for the most part, it does what I want it to do, and I'm pretty happy with it. So all right, well, that's going to be the real end of this video here for the 2026 Jeep Grand Cherokee Summit with the new Hurricane Inline 4. Hope you guys have all enjoyed this. I'm going to give this back and let someone else have a go. But I've always liked the Grand Cherokee, and I want to drive more of these. It's been way too long, so I'm a little rusty on Grand Cherokee stuff, but I hope you guys were able to enjoy regardless of that. So, all right, thanks again, guys. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.